Hello everyone, my name's Danielle and today we're going to be talking about some new book releases that are going to be coming out at the start of 2026. I used to be so good at keeping up to date with the new releases and stuff, but I've just not been looking recently and I've been really out of the loop with new book releases. Well, when I had the idea of making this video, I have a shelf on Goodreads that's like anticipated new releases, and there was just nothing on there. I've not been putting anything on there, so I have gone on some lists and compiled some that are interesting to me. I have more than likely missed loads because I just keep getting surprised with all the new releases. These ones are the ones that stuck out and are interesting to me, so I don't know if they're interesting to you. I think I've only got 13. I wasn't really interested in... I looked at a list of 200 books in January and 200 books in February, and I only picked 13 out of them both. So yeah, I'm not sure what's happening, if it's me or if it's the new books that are coming out. Some of these won't have dates on them or just have the month because I forgot to write that down when I was looking at them. Basically just putting them in January and February. They're not going to be like in order in their months because I'm just not that organised. One last thing, sorry if I sound really rough, I have been ill the past week, that's why it's been a while since I've uploaded my last video. Oh, and another thing, my tripod's broke, so you're currently sat in the Christmas tree, so sorry if it's a bit wonky and a bit of a dodgy angle. Let's get into the new books coming out that I am interested in. One that's coming out in January, so this one actually comes out on the 20th of January. These dates are according to Goodreads, so I don't know if they're going to be 100% correct because I think a lot of them are like American release dates. So I'm not sure how accurate these release dates are, but according to Goodreads, these are when these books are coming out. So coming on the 20th of January, we have A Box Full of Darkness by Simone St. James. I have read 2 books by Simone St. James and love them both. So when I saw this one on a list of books coming out, I was super excited. I have read The Sundown Motel and Murder Road. I still need to read The Book of Cold Cases, and there's another one, Broken Girls, is it? Yes, I didn't look to see what this one was about. I just added it straight to my list because she's basically like an autobiography for me now. So it says, siblings return to the house they fled 18 years before, called back by the ghost of their long missing brother and his haunting request to come home. Strange things happen in Fell, New York, a mysterious drowning at the town's roadside motel. The unexplained death of a young girl whose body is left by the railroad tracks. For Violet Vale and Dodie Esme, the final straw is their little brother's shocking disappearance, which started as a normal game of hide and seek. As their parents grew increasingly distant, the sisters were each haunted by visions and frightening events, leading them to leave town and never look back. Violet still sees dead people, spirits who remind her of her sister, the menacing presence that terrorised her for years. Now, after nearly 2 decades, it's time for a homecoming because Ben is back and he's ready to lead them to the answers they've longed for and long feared. Okay, so it sounds a little bit confusing, but it sounds like the little brother went missing after playing hide and seek, and they're going back to the house to get answers, and presumably it's haunted. Every Simone St. James book I've read, there's been like a supernatural twist to it, which I really like, so it makes them like a little bit different to like normal thrillers. Yeah, really excited for that one. I don't actually know what most of these are about, so we are gonna find out together. Next one, 20th of January also, is 9 Goblins by T. Kingfisher. So this is a cozy fantasy. I think I heard somewhere that this is like an old book by T. Kingfisher that's been like republished. I think that's what this one is. I really like the cover, it's really cute. Yeah, tale of low fantasy and high mischief. No one knows exactly how the Goblin War began, but folks will tell you that goblins are stinking, slinking, filthy, sheep-stealing, henhouse raiding, obnoxious, rude and violent. Goblins would actually agree with all this and might throw in cowardly and lazy too for good measure, But goblins don't go around killing people for fun, no matter what the propaganda posters say. And when a confrontation with an evil wizard lands a troop of 9 goblins deep behind enemy lines, Goblin Sergeant Nasilka must figure out how to keep her hapless band together and get them home in one piece. Unfortunately, between them and safety lies a forest full of elves, trolls, monsters, and the most terrifying creatures, a human being. Yeah, so that sounds like it's going to be like a good, cosy fantasy, which is one of my favourites. It's going to have like that typical Tea Kingfisher humour in there, I think. It kind of sounds and looks like it might be middle grade, I'm not sure. But I will give it a try because it's a cosy fantasy. I have only read Tea Kingfisher's like horror adjacent fantasy books. I've not read her like cozier fantasy, so I might start with this one because it's not part, well, it don't seem to be part of the series so far. Now this one is a new author for me. I don't think I've heard of this author before, and that is Paper Cut by Rachel Taff, and this is coming out on the 27th of January. Oh, it says suspense debut, so I think it might be a debut novel. So I think this one's like a culty book. It says Lucy Golden is a true crime icon, infamous for the murder she committed whilst escaping a California cult 20 years ago. But as everyone in LA knows, fame is fleeting, and Lucy and her story are always just one news cycle away from obscurity. Not to mention she's fending off a stalker and moderating an icy feud between her acclaimed photographer mother and her scandalous rock star sister. I'm not sure about like the LA fame part of this. Worst of all, online trolls are asking increasingly threatening questions about the legendary crime, questions that could tear her life apart. So when a hotshot documentarian makes her case the subject of his next film, Lucy sees a chance to silence any doubters once and for all. But as filming begins, she must return to the California desert, and come face to face with a cast of players from her torrid history. Okay, so I thought it'd be more like her actually escaping the cult, not talking about her escaping the cult years ago. But I think I will still give it a try. I might wait with that one and see what the reviews are like once it comes out. Okay, so next I have The Poisoner by Ophelia. That's coming out, I just put January. And I have since tried to find this on Goodreads again and I can't find it anywhere, so I don't know what it's about anymore. Oh, I found it. Okay, so this one is coming out 13th of January. It's 400 pages, so it's a bit chunky. Oh yes, I think this is like a Victorian era book. That's why I added it. So it says, have you ever wondered how long it would take a lethal dose of arsenic to kill you? 35 hours and 29 minutes and 15 seconds. I should know, I've counted myself. Amidst the gaslit valleys and the cobblestone streets of Victorian London, 2 killers find themselves entangled in a waltz they cannot escape. Elena Lees, a botanist and hobbyist poisoner, has a pastime of killing unsavoury men in her twisted sense of poetic justice. When she targets the conceited playboy Silas Forbes, only to find him in her apothecary the following week, she discovers human men are the least of her problems. The pair's unlikely association sparks gossip amongst affluent society. As their mysterious bond deepens, a chilling truth emerges, concealed identities, lurking foes, and questions as plentiful as the Hydra's head brew within this haunting gothic tale of violent passion. So yeah, this sounds like it's going to have lots of atmosphere, historical murder mystery. I love following main characters that are like poisoners and alchemists and stuff like that. So that sounds really exciting. I've never heard of this author before. It does say it's going to be the first in a series. I think that's the last one in January, so we'll go over to February, and I found some exciting books in February. This one I've just put February, I'm not sure what the date is, but it's Adrift by Will Dean. I was super excited for this one because I think it's a thriller set on a canal boat. I'm not sure if I've heard of this author before though. So it says Peggy and Drew, both aspiring writers, moved to an isolated canal boat with their 14-year-old son. Peggy is the glue that holds the family together even as their son is bullied relentlessly for his physique and his family's lack of money. But when Drew becomes frustrated by his wife's sudden writing success, he moves their boat further and further from civilization. With their increasing isolation, personal challenges become harder to ignore, even as they desperately try to break toxic generational patterns. But when Drew's gaslighting becomes too much for Peggy to take, it sets off a catastrophic series of events. Yeah, I'm really excited about that one. So I really like isolated thriller. So this one is going to be like isolated on a canal boat, which I've never seen a story set on a canal boat before. So I'm really excited about that. Next is Nowhere Burning by Catriona Ward. That's 24th of Feb. That one's coming out. I read The Last House on Needless Street, but I haven't managed to get to any of her other books yet. I think the other ones, Looking Glass Sound, and then there was another one. I don't think they've got the best reviews. That's why I've not found myself picking them up. And I actually like The Last House on Needless Street. Okay. This one says, a refuge for lost children may also be their prison. In the middle of the night, Riley pulls her younger brother Oliver out of bed and the two run away from home. Riley is intent on joining a group of teenagers squatting in the abandoned ruins of an infamous movie star's ranch, Nowhere. For actor Leif Winham, Nowhere was a place to hide from his fame and to hide his crimes, until a fire ravaged his house and exposed him as a murderer. It is rumoured that the ranch nestled in the peaks of the Rocky Mountains is now home to a group of feral children, a place where adults cannot enter, and Riley hopes to find a new family there, but the Nowhere kids are fierce in defending their turf and their clan. Riley quickly realises that while she and Oliver may have left the devil they knew, this group is a new type of diabolical. For something dark lives in the burned shell of Nowhere, and something which asks a terrible price for sanctuary. That sounds really interesting. It sounds really different to anything that I've read before. I think having like a group of children in this abandoned building could be really interesting. I wonder if this has anything supernatural in it, because it sounds like it might be hinting towards it. Next is Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman, coming in February. This is the author of Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I haven't got to yet. I assuming this is like a completely new story and not part of that series, so maybe this is going to be like a new series. Oh, it's coming out 10th of Feb. This one says, all colonists Oliver Lewis ever wanted to do is run his family ranch with his sister, maybe play a gig or two with his band, and keep his family's ageing fleet of intelligent agricultural bots ticking as long as possible. As a fan of Earth television and culture, he figures it would be a good thing when the transfer gate finally opens all the way and restores instant travel and full communication between Earth and his planet New Sonora. But there's a complication. Even though the settlers were promised they'd be left in peace, Earth's government now has other plans. The colossal Apex Corporation is hired to commence an eviction action, but maximising profits will always be Apex's #1 priority. Why spend money printing and deploying their own AI soldiers when they can turn it into a game? And why not charge bored Earthers for the opportunity to design their own war machines and remotely pilot them from the comfort of their own homes? This sounds really interesting. I'm super excited for that one. It's a bit out of my comfort zone with like the sci-fi gaming story, but I am really excited for it. That does sound really good. It's sort of like a sci-fi computer game, Squid Game, it sounds like. And I know I'm actually going to be getting that one in a subscription box soon. I do really want to read Dungeon Crawler Carl as well. Okay, so another one coming out in Feb is Cleopatra by Sarah L. Arifi. I can't remember what this author has wrote before. I've not read anything yet, but I know she's a popular author. Yeah, I love reading retellings, but I've not actually read a Cleopatra retelling, so this one could be really interesting. Oh, it's the author of Feybound and The Final Strife. Anyway, this one says, you know my name, but you don't know me. Your historians call me a seductress, but I was always in love's thrall. Your playwrights speak of my witchcraft, but I was gifted by talents by the gods. The poets sing of my bloodlust, but I was protecting my children. They cannot credit that a mere woman could be powerful, strategic, divinely blessed to rule. Death will silence me no longer. So this sounds like it's going to like strip down what we know about Cleopatra to like its bare bones and tell like not a true story, it's still going to be fictional, but like a closer to truth than fantasy. I have been getting back into some retellings recently, so I am super excited to give this one a go. And Egyptian mythology or historical Egyptian stories is not something I have read before, but I used to be so interested in like ancient Egypt, so this one could be perfect for me. Next on the 17th of February is When I Kill You by B.A. Paris. Again, not read any of their books, but I have Behind Closed Doors. I just not got to it yet. That is a well-loved thriller book, so I have high hopes for both of these books. This one says, who is watching Neil Masters? Neil Masters is certain someone's following her. The hairs on the back of her neck rise when she travels to and from work. There are silent calls to her office, and a huge bouquet of flowers arrives without a card. And Neil has a reason to be looking over her shoulder because she has a secret she's hiding from everyone in their life, including her new partner Alex. But Alex also has secrets of her own. 14 years earlier, when Neil went by the name of Elle Nugent, she witnessed a student, Bryony Standers, getting into a stranger's car. When Bryony was found murdered, Elle became obsessed with finding the person responsible. She was convinced she knew who it was, and her fixation with Brett Parker, the man she accused, led her down a dangerous path. So we've got like a stalker story, and it sounds like it's setting up for this person she accused years ago to be her stalker, but it's probably not. Or else it wouldn't say in the synopsis. But yes, I am excited to read a stalker book. It's got that typical storyline of something happened 20 odd years ago and we're revisiting it, which I'm a bit bored of, but I feel like this has the potential to be a little different. Okay, this one I'm not too sure of. Comes out on the 10th of Feb, and that is She Made Herself a Monster by Anna Kovačeva. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this one, I don't know if it's YA or adult, but it says, this is what got me interested. It says, a heady, dark-hued gothic gem of a debut in 19th century Bulgaria, a self-proclaimed vampire slayer, actually a travelling con artist, joins forces with a teenage girl to create a monster deadly enough to vanquish their own demons. It was the vampire slayer bit that got me, but because then it says actually travelling con artist, so she's not actually a vampire slayer, that like got me a little bit less excited. I wanted it to be an actual vampire slayer. It says, we make monsters in order to destroy them. For thousands of years we've named witches and burned them, suspected demons and exorcised them. When crops die and children fall ill, who better to blame than a monster? In 19th century Bulgaria, Yana rides from the desolate town to the next, staging grisly displays while she tells the stricken villagers stories of vampires that stalk the night. Then Yana eliminates the threats and leaves seeds of hope in her wake. The village of Koprivici, however, is plagued by exceptional illness and misfortune, its children rarely survive in infancy. There, Yana meets a headstrong orphan who the villagers blame for their curse. As Anka approaches womanhood, the village captain is grooming her for marriage against her will. Anka is powerless against him, and that is until Yana arrives. Together, the orphan and the vampire slayer hatch to conjure a monster so vile it might provide cover for Anka to escape. So it does sound actually really interesting. I'm actually really excited for that one because it's historical as well, and it's set in Bulgaria. So yeah, loads of stuff that seems like that could be like a favourite for me. Right, we're already half an hour in, so I'm just going to quickly go through these next two. So 10th of Feb, we have The Body by Bethany C. Morrow. I've not heard of this author before, but I have seen this book going round, so it must have quite a bit of hype about it. but it is a supernatural horror story. It says where one woman must survive a series of bizarre and escalating attacks on her marriage. Mavis broke out from her parents' congregation years ago, so it's got like religious background to the story, which I find really interesting. Then on the 10th of February, we've got Warning Signs by Tracy Sierra, who wrote Night Watching, which I still haven't read yet, but this one is like a winter survival thriller horror, like in the winter, I think. They go on a ski weekend and something is watching them in their cabin from the tree lines. Oh, and one more. Taylor Adams, the author of No Exit, which I give 5-star, is coming out with Her Last Breath on the 17th of Feb, which is a thriller set in a cave-in expedition that's gone wrong, which sounds right up my street. I love cave surviving wilderness horror books. Yeah, so there are all the books I'm personally excited coming out in the next couple of months. Please comment below what books you're excited to come out, because I've definitely missed some off the list. I'll see you next time I upload a video. Thank you, bye.